running my mouth for hours, but nonetheless, here we are. How did I get here? You know? So much has happened. Well, in the last years, and particularly in the last few months. And the question still remains, who am I? Where did I come from? Am I the guy? Am I not the guy? What did I create? Yeah, all very good questions. I can tell you right now that my creation, Fractal, certainly is drawing attention. I'll tell you why. There are 3 phases of resistance. It's very typical. It's not just for me. Anything. Anytime something is new that threatens the status quo, there's 3 phases of resistance. The first phase is ridicule. That's when people laugh at you. Oh, you're crazy. No, you can't do that. For example, when I say, why can't I create money? Governments do it all the time. Oh, no, you're crazy. You can't do that. They won't let you. Well, who won't? Well, the governments won't. Okay, well, that's probably true. They don't want you to do that. But if I remain in the shadows, I don't make myself known, then there's nobody to go after. It's easier. Next thing you know, we have something like Bitcoin. Amazing. Not really amazing, but the idea of creating something that can serve as value for people instead of the money that they're given by the governments. Yeah, ridicule. You're crazy. Then also ridicule. Oh, you're a charlatan. Oh, you're a scammer. Oh, it's not real. Okay. That's to be expected, though. As I said, that is the first in the 3 phases of resistance. What's the second phase? Isolation. Look at me now. Here we are. I'm here by myself. I'm always by myself. Always isolated. Always alone. But recently, very recently, all of the people that have been around for a while, they just drop off one after one after one. Isolation. Because some people, they can't deal with the harassment. They can't deal with the ridicule. They don't want to be associated with somebody who is, oh, maybe he's crazy, charlatan, like I said. So one by one, people drop off. And they drop out. That is part of the plan, not from me, but from others. Isolation. If you can isolate someone long enough, they will yield. They will give in. They will quit. Or so they think. That's normal. But what happens? What happens when the first 2 phases don't work? When ridicule has no effect on me, on the individual. And second, when isolation, that doesn't do the trick either. Frankly, I've been alone, isolated and alone for decades. This isn't new for me. This is normal. This is normal. But then, what's the third phase? The third phase, is temptation. If you can't ridicule them and get them to go away, if you can't isolate them so they feel totally alone, because the human being, the human species, it's like pack animals. They always want to touch other people and be connected and move in groups. The idea of being alone, being isolated, it's very foreign. It feels very uncomfortable. But you have to get very uncomfortable in order to get comfortable. So that third phase, when the first 2 don't work, is temptation. That's when the powers that be, they offer money, power, recognition, all the things they think people crave, because the first two haven't worked. So let's try this. Let's try money. I don't have any use for your money. I do not care. I'm happy to live a simple life. I can go with just as well as I can go without. For example, I spent months literally sleeping in the Walmart parking lot and eating pizza out of the dumpster from Little Caesars. All the while, I could have cashed in Bitcoin. Could have cashed it in. I didn't have to deal with those obstacles, those challenges. But the question becomes, do you sacrifice your morals? Do you do that? Do you give in to corruption? You know, the definition of corruption is really just exchanging your principles and values for something else, particularly money. It's not always money. It can be just compromising what you believe in, what you stand for, in order to have some alternate gain. So temptation. First is money. I don't care about your money. I go without just as well. And frankly, I don't need it, because I've done all the work myself, all of it. It doesn't matter if it's the creative, the artistic, Adobe Illustrator, C++, C#, Rust, assembly language. It doesn't matter what it is. If I don't know something, I buy a book and I learn it. And then we execute. So I don't need your money. Power? I was anonymous for more than 16 years. I don't need power, nor do I need recognition. The only recognition that I would like to have out there is recognition for my creation, for what it has done and what it will do to help people. You've seen my work before. You've seen it before, you experience it now. I have something new. The first was just a prelude. It was a prelude for what is to come. Now we're at a point where it's been more than 12 years of diligently working all the time. It's easily proven, easily verifiable. I have been alone and isolated and working and working and working nonstop, sheer will and determination for well more than a decade, closing in on 2 decades. So I cannot be bought. I don't care about power, nor do I care about recognition. Use what I've created. Use what I've created. Temptation. I am not a body. I'm not a name. You can call me James. Call me James Verdison. Call me Satoshi. You could call me anything you want. James Browning. You can call me anything because I'm not a name. My work speaks for itself. It doesn't require a name tag or an identity. Because once again, I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for power. I'm not looking for recognition. But who am I? I can say that I'm a mind beyond time. Allow me to regale you with a story. Think of it, maybe it's fiction, maybe it's fact. We'll just call it a story. The universe, it's amazing. I mean, if you just look outside and you say, wow, look how big the world is. How big is the Earth? It's so big I can't even see the curvature. Maybe the Earth is flat. Well, it's not. But how amazing is it? Think about the Creator. It doesn't matter. This is not a religious speech or a religious exercise. It has nothing to do with that. But just look outside. Look at your hands. Look at yourself. How was all of that created? It's a masterful, absolutely masterful architecture, a masterful piece of construction, the universe. Imagine the amount of time, if you think about time, but think about the amount of the volume of effort and planning and design to be able to come up with the idea of, ooh, these are particles and subatomic particles and quarks. And you put all these things together, and then you have forces, gravity, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. I mean, it's amazing. But you take these little microscopic, unbelievably small things, which aren't even really close to each other. They just attract and move. And from that, you have matter. And from that matter, you then have atoms. You have stars. And then it requires billions of years and the collapse of a star to be able to create heavier elements, like what's in your body, carbon. Yeah. The precious metals. What about gold? Gold is valued, it's cherished everywhere. It's the only element on the periodic table that can serve as money. Do you think that money is only a value? Gold is only a value here on Earth? Or is it valuable everywhere? Physics is physics. But once again, back to what I was saying. Think about the magic of the universe, the magic of creation, the birth of life in itself. That's an amazing masterpiece of creation, of architecture. And all of that brings us here, right now, this universe, this time. Just like everything in the universe, there's gravity, there's rules, there's physics, because that is what was laid out in the creation process. The moon orbits the Earth. The Earth orbits the sun. The sun and our solar system is orbiting the center of the galaxy. And our galaxy is orbiting others. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You look out the window and say, oh, look how big this is. But it's nothing. It's microscopic. It's not even dust. It's nothing. But here we are. Here you are. Here are people, lives. And we go through these lives all the time and just think about, what do I need? What do I need? What do I want? What do I want? I want this thing. I want that thing. It's shiny. People have lost sight of the vision of what's truly important. You know, the connection between people, camaraderie of people. Remember the pack, being together, helping each other, not just only helping yourself. Sometimes I don't understand people. Most of the time, actually. But back to gravity. So the Earth orbits the sun. We have a year, 365 days, right? Cool. It's not. It's actually approximately 365 and a quarter. That's why every 4 years there's a leap year, because that has to make up the difference, because that orbit around the sun is not exactly 365 dawn dusks. It's just a little bit more. So every 4 years there's a correction needs to be made. That's why we have a leap year. Now think about that on a more grand scale. Once again, I'm just telling you a story. Just a story. But what if on a grander scale, there's a time frame of 5,000 years. Think of that like an orbit. And every 5,000 years, just like that leap year, there needs to be a little correction. Somebody come in with a tool and put things back in place. Because it's still physics. The laws of the universe are still the laws of the universe. Sometimes a correction needs to be made. So what if, just what if, every 5,000 years, that correction needs to be made? And the Creator, well, shoot, he defined it. He created all the rules. He knows he needs an instrument. He needs that instrument to put things back in place. If not, there's chaos. The instrument. Today, we have a very interesting period in time. This is an awakening. In our story that we're telling, this is the last 100 years, the last century of the 5,000-year cycle. And because of the physics, the first 25 years was pretty much hell. It sucks. But then, that's when the instrument comes in to make the correction. And the remainder of the century, the next 75 years, is enlightenment and blissful and wonderful for all the people, all of humanity. But it requires that correction. So whether that is today, or maybe 5,000 years ago, Noah and the ark, or what about 5,000 years before that, the lost civilization, or before that, the Anunnaki, and so on and so forth. Time is relative, as we all know, but time is a construct in this universe. It doesn't mean it exists everywhere, but it exists for you and me in this form that we're in now. But, as I said, every 5,000 years, that instrument needs to come make the correction, like the leap year. What if I am that instrument? Not just today, but always the instrument. Always the correction. Now, this body, this form, people have said, I mean this truly, people have said to me before, there's something different about you. It's like you're wearing to quote someone else, a meticulously crafted human suit, but you're something else. Other people have asked, well, where do you come up with these ideas? Where do you come up with that? Where do you come up with an answer that nobody else has ever been able to think of? Where do these ideas come from? What is the wellspring from which it arrives? But I can say that I was sent here. Once again, we're just telling a story. But I was sent here, this time, from the Creator, to make a correction, to put things right, to liberate humanity. I am not here for profit. I am not here for selfish means. I am here to put in place an architecture, a creation that liberates humanity, that sets people free. People don't even realize that they've been living in bondage for their whole lives, and their parents and their grandparents and their parents before that. Most of human society, unfortunately, has come to a point, moved in a direction where instead of people are coming together to help each other, the strong subjugate. They take advantage of other people instead of lifting them up, instead of helping them. I'm not here to topple governments or disrupt the Fed or anything like that. I am here. I was sent here with an answer, with a solution that provides liberation for all people so they can make their own choices, their own decisions. This is not about money. This is not about technology. This is about the human species. This is about corrections that bring people closer together and lifts everyone up, not continuing to isolate people and take advantage. Bondage, suffering, those are not what the Creator intended for humanity. It doesn't matter what religion or non-religion you are, anyone can agree. Even if you take all of that out of the equation, just say, how would I want to be treated? I can guarantee nobody's going to say, oh, I want to be enslaved. I want to be taken advantage of. I want to be used. No, nobody's going to say that. So why do people do that to others? So my mission is clear. I brought an answer. I'm here. It's implemented. It's happening now. This is the second quatrain of the last century of the 5,000-year cycle. And once again, this is just a story. Believe it or don't believe it. But what's undeniable is the technology that I made before and the technology I've made now. I don't need a name. I'm not Satoshi, I'm not James, I'm not any of those. I am the instrument. I am the instrument that was sent to correct, to make the adjustment. I won't be here forever, just till my work is finished. You know, we talk about temptation as the third phase of resistance. My temptation, the greatest temptation for me, is to have a normal life. To have a wife and a family and a dog and a house and live a normal life. For me, that's the ultimate temptation. That's the thing I've never had. I've had money, I've had things. They do nothing for me. But the greatest temptation is what all of you already have. It's what all of you already have, is someone to be with, to have friends, to go out, to do things, to be part of something. Yeah, that would be that's the greatest temptation for me, and the hardest thing to resist for all of these decades. To resist and not give in. As I said, I was sent here. I have a purpose. I have a mission. And I can guarantee I will not quit. I will never yield. Never. I won't abandon you. I won't abandon my mission, and I will not fail. So people can say whatever they like. They can call me names. They can ridicule me. They can isolate me. They can tempt me. But I will not yield. I will not quit. Under no circumstances. Because my contract is not here. My contract is with a much higher authority. But it's an interesting story. You know, maybe people are going to think, oh, the Easter egg. Oh, what's that? And Am I supposed to tell you that I'm actually Anunnaki? Am I supposed to tell you that, oh, this 5,000 year cycle, I've been through it before, 10 times before, that I'm actually 55,000 years old, not 55 years old? That would be a fanciful tale. That would be amazing. Oh, you're crazy. Am I? But, so yes, ooh, Anunnaki. He's 55,000 years old. Sent by the Creator. Or maybe I'm just a guy who happened to be born the right place, the right time, with the right genetics to be able to do something that helps everyone. Someone that can't be bought, can't be corrupted. That's me. That is me. And what's my name? I don't need a name. Though, you know, in ancient Egypt, there was a god or demigod, deity, whatever you want to call it, in charge of mathematics and wisdom, in charge of setting the world right. It's an interesting story, and it's come about again and again and again in history, where there's oral history, written history. All the tales always seem to go back to the same event. And then there's prehistory. None of that has any bearing on the fact that I'm here right now. I'm here. I'm not in the shadows anymore. I have come out of the shadows. I've been summoned into the light. Yes, this is a tremendous burden. You know, it's like Atlas, you know, with the weight of the world on my shoulders. But honestly, the burden is light because I'm clear in my purpose. Crystal clear in my purpose. As I said, I will not fail. I will not abandon you. I made reference in a previous video that if you allowed me to, I would be your archangel. I will protect you. Sure, some people watching this, you're the strong. You're the ones who take advantage. But others who are watching this video, you are the ones that need a helping hand, that can use protection, that can use someone on your side to bring humanity closer together. So yes, I can be an archangel for you. I can carry that weight, that burden. I'm clear in my purpose. So, but an interesting story. As I said, is it a fable? Is it a myth or a man? Is it real or not real? I can say we've already reached the tipping point. We've already passed the Rubicon. What happens now will happen, whether I am here or there or not here at all. There is nothing that can be done to stop the momentum that has already been established. The world is waking up. People are understanding, and they are open to understanding where they are, how they've been used, where they can be, the opportunity for freedom, the opportunity for betterment, but the betterment of humanity as a whole. So, a fractal is here. The underpinnings of fractal is nebula. This is not surface web. You know, like websites and cutesy stuff and social media. This is not surface web, nor is it the deep web. or the dark web, or even the Marianas web. Nebula is the fabric, the underpinnings of an entire global architecture, global fabric to rewrite banking, finance, money, people's opportunity, people's equality. As I said, this is not surface web, deep web, dark web, Marianas web. No. Nebula is down here. It's the very fabric that underpins everything that fractal is part of. It can't be stopped. I'm pleased to be able to be here. I'm happy and grateful to have this burden, to be able to bring this forward for humanity. As I said, it's a very interesting story. Yeah. Nonetheless, at this point, I am Satoshi, but it doesn't matter what name you call me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here for you. Who am I? Maybe we'll find out.